So on the last video we discussed mindfulness, the process of releasing, learning how to observe without touching your thoughts coming and going. Now we're going to practice this in a much more physically dynamic way. So I want you to put a load on your body. Pick up a heavy weight. 10 kilos is enough to start with. You want to generate a stress on your body. Pick up the weight. And it doesn't matter what exercise you're comfortable with, do whatever type of stress load you want. You can do a chest press if you want it. Okay, let's say we're using the chest press example. You put the load on your body, you stretch, open the joints, you vital breathe, whole body pore breathing. And as your whole body pore breathing, a bunch of things are happening. First, the physical weight is generating a muscle resistance. Your muscles want to contract to support that weight. The second thing, your vital breathing, relaxing, opening the joints and releasing, so that this stress that's on your body doesn't make your mind contract. So as you observe the stress and observe how your body wants to grab it, and you just relax and open the joints into the life force to create sung being relax and transform from one state into another. And in this particular case, we're relaxing physical muscle tension into fascia tension by controlling the joint and putting waves of stretch outwards. So we're observing this. So you'll have two parts of your mind. One part of your mind is an observer and one part of your mind is an intender. So the intender goes, oh, I'm tense, relax, open the joint, stretches it all open and starts intending. The observer is watching very, very gently what the intender is doing and passing instructions to the intender in a very soft, empty way. Now, if the observer tells the intender, oh, relax, release, do this, this, this with too much strength, it becomes an intender. So this is where the Buddha said, move your mind like blowing a feather. So this observer, to make corrections, just has to remain separate, and you'll get a sense of separateness to the change you're making. Your awareness is here, and you're stretching and pulling everything apart, and the intender is there and the observer is here, and you keep them separate. But you have to communicate across. So there's a skill in getting the yang mind, the intending mind, to do something without the observing mind getting stuck and engaging. If you engage, you can't control the space efficiently, you can't control the timing efficiently, and the benefits of mindfulness, of reading thoughts coming from afar, energy coming from afar, mechanical forces coming from afar, is gone. You lose that. So to bring your mindfulness into an intuitive sense, to know when a strike is coming, when a push is coming in push hands, you need to get a separation of the yin and yang of the mind. The yin being the observer and the yang being the intender. So separating these two mind qualities amplifies intuition. How do you know? You sense it. Oh, here it comes, then it comes. Then you know you're doing it right. It's a direct feedback loop. If a person throws a punch and you didn't sense it coming, well, you weren't doing it right. So this separation, the result just creep in by themselves. You're doing push hands, oh, here it comes and it comes. Whoop, and you just do the right thing. Some people get the insight as a cognitive sense, ah, here it comes. Other people just respond to the incoming force, where it doesn't move through the intellect as an intellectual process. You just respond with a feeling in your right place and you catch the person. So this process of separating the electric and magnetic parts of the mind, the intending and observing parts, this covers the first two exercises in Franz Barden's book. Number one, observing the rising, falling wave thought. That is the fabric of the initiation Hermetics text. The whole text is built upon it. And the second is observing an individual thought and concentrating on it. So you go from the yin mind to the yang mind and you engage a thought and hold it. Now as you're holding it, you'll notice that you want to step back and observe it. And there's a third exercise which comes in, which Barden doesn't put in his book. He just says sit in the stillness. But when you're in the stillness, this is when this third skill arises naturally as a byproduct of that exercise, is where the observing mind, the intending mind separate And it's the accumulation of stillness from practicing these two exercises individually that allow the mind to be in an empty space while observing and intending simultaneously. So practice those two first exercises, put a load on your body, observe the stress on your body, then you relax, open the joints, observe yourself relax and open the joints, and then vital breathe, take the load onto the fascia and transfer muscle to fascia. So the intender is releasing, relaxing, opening the joints, stretching, transferring the load from muscle tension to fascia tension, and the observer is simply practicing not to get caught in it. This is a 1 minute cycle exercise, so hit that timer for 1 minute, put the weight down, do it again. Once you've got the idea there that you can observe, and you can observe from there or there or there, from behind, above, you don't have to be observing from the feeling of your physical body. You can step outside yourself when you do it and observe from the space around your body. You want to practice this observation in first, second, third person. And what this means is first person, I'm observing from myself. Second person, I'm observing from the perspective of another person or from the weight that I'm lifting. And third person, I'm a fly on the wall, that I'm just on the side viewing in the grandstand of what's happening. So this first, second, third person, it's kind of like, it's a little bit formless, because second person can mean a lot of things and third person mean a lot of things. It's important because when you start doing mental transference, moving your mind into objects or thinking about a friend and connecting to them, you may find you are your friend, you may find you're looking at your friend, or you may find you're just the mental space around your friend. So this process of first, second, third person, it's not the conventional translation of what first, second, and third person is. It changes and according to your function, and it'll morph to suit the metaphysical skill that it will adapt itself to. So when you're training through the initiation process, really in the end it's all mind training, and having good understanding of Buddhism actually makes it easier, because you can see greater value in some of the exercises, where if you read Franz Barton's book for the way he's written it, you can't see the greater value of what you're getting. You just go, I'll just do it and see what happens. So you test it and get a feedback loop. Okay, so I hope this helps with separating the electric and magnetic parts of the mind, and getting into this looking through the stillness, the observer and the intender, get a good clean separation, and then practice engaging through that separation. Okay, thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.